There is a powerful, lucky, really intense moon coming up for the world, and it's going to be in Gemini at 26 degrees, and it's happening on the 17th, 18th of the month of June, depending on where you live. What I mean about powerful and lucky is there's two stars that are quite fortunate in Orion's belt, and those are Al-Nilam and Al-Natak, and both of those stars are accompanying this new beginning, new moon, as well as, most significantly, Betelgeuse, one of the biggest stars for wealth and prosperity. These stars are giving this moon an extra edge for everybody. And at the same time, Mercury, the Lord of the lunation, is at home in his own house of Gemini where the moon is happening, controlling the situation, and on a star of also great dignity and power, the star Aldebaran, the eye of the bull, the star that has to do with Archangel Michael, as well as the power to succeed through the arc of communication, but also a warrior star with a sword. So we're going to talk a bit about that for the world and how it may play out in your life as well. There are some intense energies as well with Volcano, the asteroid, for like some volcanic type of eruption, unfortunately squaring this new moon, as well as the possibility here of some not squaring this new moon, trining this new moon, as well as some information that may be quite alarming or shocking or upsetting to do with recent events to do with the COVID pandemic. And that's just because Neptune is sitting with the asteroid Pandora, Pandora's box, the ills that befell the world. When Pandora opened the box and out fell plagues and war and every ill thing that could happen. And Neptune being the god, this misinformation, illusion, and delusion, as well as viral or pandemic type things that, especially waterborne, but just all kinds of diffuse illness, including small viral particles. So with that Neptune Pandora story squaring the new moon, Mercury being the god of news, and he's sitting with the new moon, we may have some interesting things in our news cycle. Now we're going to get going and talk about a little bit about the collective, and then we're going to jump right into all signs. We're going to say, where is your lucky power bolt coming from during the fallout of this moon, which is a new moon. So yes, it's within the 2 weeks that follow, but it can also be said to be about the 6 months that follow, because the new moon will be followed by a full moon in 6 more months. Okay, if you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I am using the whole sign house system. I am a Western tropical zodiac astrologer. I love the minor asteroids, and that's why we have Volcano and Pandora in today's story. I'm going to show you what the sky looks like right now, and then when we do the all signs, I may just trundle along through the sky so you can watch it with me. Also, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell if you like my content. I have a lot of stuff in my box below, but if you want to sign up for my description box below, but if you sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter in the month of June, I'm giving a surprise giveaway that you guys are going to love at the end of this month. And you need to be a subscriber to get that. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's pretty amazing. So check out the subscription to the weekly forecast newsletter, Cosmic Moonshine, and join my Patreon community if you want to get all the content you see on YouTube ahead of everybody else and without ads, at least until it goes public on YouTube. For example, I'm recording this video for the new moon on June 11th, and you will get this later. All right. So let's talk about this again. Let me show you what the sky looks like. And here it is. This is the sky. The new moon is in this particular picture happening over at 26 degrees in Gemini. And you can see it on the right-hand side of the screen. And I can just do a little annotation to make it simple. You can see that this is where it's happening. That's Juno, the goddess of marriage and commitment, and vows and oaths. And this is Mercury sitting there. This is him on the star Aldebaran, the eye of the bull. It is a warrior star, however, I will mention that. A new moon is some new beginning in Gemini, but Al-Natak, Al-Nilam, the lucky stars of fortune and goodness, and all of that from Orion's belt are sitting with this new moon, and Betelgeuse, the star that is about prosperity and wealth. But Betelgeuse is currently, I think, at basically 0 degrees of Cancer, but it's within orb of the new moon, so we put it in there. So there could be a bolt of excitement going on in the world something to do with the war situation in Russia and the Ukraine, and only because in the United States natal Sibley chart, the part of the sky that represents Gemini is open enemies, and or opponents or competitors. And, the Ukraine-Russia story, it's, Russian is the open enemy of the United States, or you go China, Taiwan. Something new is starting up here. And, yes, Betelgeuse is there, and El Natak, El Nalam are there. We also have Mercury on the warrior star. Archangel Michael, sure, but he got a flaming sword in his hand, and the eye of the bull can be a star of war. And I hate to say new beginnings that might involve war. You know what I mean? So, if China and Taiwan are going to heat up and the United States is going to get involved, or something like the escalation to World War III, which we all think we're experiencing, we might see it here. I'm a little bit concerned as well that this is something volcanic or explosive or unexpected maybe coming out of the sky, with Hygeia, the goddess of health and hygiene and medical stuff, and volcano together. And they're in a trine to the new moon. Now, you might go, well, then it should be good, right? A trine is positive nature of Jupiter. Well, maybe, but also it could be good for the world that something explosive and sudden is coming out of the woodwork. Pluto is still in the sign of, Pluto has left the sign of Aquarius and is backed into Capricorn. Capricorn was a part of the plague, the starting of the plague, the pandemic. Here's Pluto at the last part of Pluto's going back to 27 degrees, and we'll be there till next January. We're turning around in the October timeframe, but we're going back to things that had to do with the pandemic era, because Pluto's last degrees in the last 3 years of Capricorn have mostly been associated with two things: the Ukraine war and maybe escalations and ups and downs and drops in the stock markets, and also the pandemic. So with Pluto being back in the old territory of the last 3 years, and with this kind of volcanic, shocking or erupting of some intensity with Hygeia to do with the medical world, I'm not sure what this is, but it can be quite eruptive or big energy. It would likely show up most obviously in the 2 weeks, particularly that follow the new beginning or the new moon, as we approach a full moon after that. At the same time, having Pandora's box, including wars and plagues that befell the earth, squaring the new moon in the 7th house, takes us back to, again, what ailment? Is it a war? Is it another plague? Is it a viral situation? Or is it just simply information and news coming out in the cycle? Because every time you see a new moon with Mercury involved, and technically he follows the darn sun pretty closely, so he's always pretty close to the sun. But this is his kingdom of Gemini, where speech and information and news even is valued. And if he can, he'll be bringing some news stories to the collective. This new moon is definitely because it is on the asteroid. The star Betelgeuse, potentially involved in stories to do with wealth. Maybe a wealthy solar figure, right? A leader or a king comes into the news cycle at this time with some kind of volcanic, what do you call it? Like announcement or news story. Also, with Mercury here on Aldebaran, the eye of the bull, like a bullseye even, there is something definitely to say about something hitting the mark, something really hitting the mark in the collective field. In the United States Sibley chart, which this is because I have it queued up for Sag rising. Basically, the 3rd house where the volcanic eruption to do with medical and health issues is happening is in the house of government announcements to the public, or in the part of the chart that can represent the widespread news media. So look for some big news stories in the 2 months that follow around war and plague stories that may be eruptive and shocking even. And finally, volcano is volcanic, right? So could we have an eruption of a volcano? Certainly, absolutely, with Mars and Leo opposite this volcanic energy, we absolutely could have an eruption of volcano of some significance in the 2 weeks that follow the new beginning, new moon. All right, let's talk about what this might look like for each of the rising signs. And technically, I'm going to spin the wheel of the chart, but I always lose the moon as I do that. So don't focus too much on the place that the moon is sitting, because she will move out of the 7th as I rotate the chart and into the 8th. So don't get too confused. There will be timestamps and chapters. So both of those can help you just jump ahead to your sign, you know? If you're in the live premiere and you like this kind of content and you're enjoying it with me in the chat box, please hit that like button. It super helps the channel grow, and I really appreciate it. I'm at 31,500 subscribers as I record this. My goal is an unreasonable amount. I want to try to reach 100,000 by the end of this calendar year, and I'm growing at about 3,000 to 3,500 subs a month. So if you could help me out, that'd be great. If you have any constructive criticism for me, I welcome it. Just don't tell me to do it differently than I am in terms of my speech speed. If I'm too fast for you, and I am for some people, but for many people, they speed me up, then you can adjust the speed of listening on YouTube and play me at a slower or faster speed. It's a free feature of YouTube, even if you don't have your own channel. So just, do it that way and don't worry about anything else. All right. All right. So let's start off, and we're going to talk about Aries first. First of all, I am going to stop the share. I'm going to just promote. This is the month I'm promoting an artisan jeweler from Vancouver, Canada. Actually, she's not from Vancouver. She's Bulgarian. She lives in Vancouver right now, and her jewelry is beautiful. I will put the link to her Shopify store. She does also have an Etsy store and Instagram in the description box. If you like handcrafted, one-of-a-kind artisan jewelry, and that's your cup of tea, then check out Melena's work. And this is just the month I'm sharing with a friend her work with the world out of the goodness of my heart. I don't get a kickback for any of this. Okay, let's get going. So I'm going to cue the chart for Aries. It's a short video. My moon videos are not long unless they're overly complex. Now that I'm with you guys, let me just double check the Sabian symbol for 27 degrees of the sign of Gemini and add one more layer of intrigue. Okay, the Sabian symbol is a gypsy coming out of the forest. Interpret liberally. Sometimes I find Sabians utterly beguiling. You can read the book and they'll have codes for different books and people are interpreting them. But yeah, the Sabian channel symbol, a gypsy coming out of the forest. I don't know, just kind of interesting. Let's get going. I'm not a Sabian expert, and some people are. Sometimes I like to look at the Sabians because they make me smile at the very least. Alrighty, here we are. This is Aries. If you're an Aries sun, moon, but most accurate rising sign, especially if you're an Aries and your rising sign or sun and moon is somewhere in the last 10 degrees of Aries, so 20 to 29, you'll feel it a little bit more strongly. This is a new moon in your third house. So a new beginning is happening here. Some fresh start. It's quite fortunate and can bring you some significant wealth. Betelgeuse. It is a lucky wealth star. I'm probably going to call this video Lucky Wealth New Moon. And in your sky, this can really open up some kind of opportunity for wealth through siblings, journeys, travel, education, if it's skills-based, things in your local neighborhood, shops and restaurants, as well as your online websites and world. If you're an online person like me, and this is a new moon here, normally we have new moons here, of course, every year around this time of year, and it's a Gemini moon with Mercury really close at hand. So it's really good for marketing, merchandising, communicating, teaching, and selling locally or online. It's also good for prosperity coming through short trips and travel. With Juno nearby on the other side of the new moon, maybe partnerships in business, maybe partnerships and alliances with others can bring prosperity in real life, IRL, or online. Certainly, you could partner with a sibling or aunt, uncle, niece, cousin. All of that extended family can belong to your third house. This new beginning also has a potential element for some volcanic eruption in your reputation, your visible great gains in your career, your celebrity, the way you show up in the larger world because of volcanic energy does erupt, and power and potency in your 11th house of good spirit. So maybe something really good is happening online that really erupts into some goodness in your great gains in your career and reputation space, especially with Pluto back there to power you up a little bit more before he finally gets out of there and never returns in the fall of 2024. As well, an anoretic, super powerful. As well, Aries, you can also maybe take note that this Pandora's box and Neptune on the god of addiction in your 12th house, or on this idea of some kind of dreamy reverie in which there's hope left at the end of the day when all the ails befall your psychology, your soul, and your past life and your dreams, words of the 12th house, you may come through some kind of crucible around the way you sabotage yourself through your psychological, emotional, and physical negative patterns and habits. And you may be coming to a new beginning as you break free of those in the 2 weeks that follow the new moon. If you're using YouTube land to make online revenue on any of the videography platforms because you have clients around the world or customers and you're reaching out beyond geographical boundaries, that's what Neptune can do here for you. Maybe that's why people like me with planets in Aries, Sun, Moon, and others are doing well on YouTube right now. And this can also be a tension moment, though, where there's this new beginning in the third, which is social media platforms, and tension between your sources of income from far off lands through using videography. For me, I know that tension. I'm feeling it already. I need a break. So I'll be taking some vacation time off this summer. Not so much from YouTube. You kill the algorithm when you stop, but from my clients at the very least, I've got 6 weeks booked off. All right. So you can feel the wealth generation, though, energy and the luck in that third house. So certainly I'm looking forward to hearing from some of you, Aries, about how that plays out for you in the comments after this has gone down. And I read all my comments, you know. Don't forget to hit the like button, please. If you're in the live premiere, show me the love because it helps me grow. And you guys are great, all my regulars. I so appreciate you. Maybe a shout out to the Crystalline Alchemist and Misbehaving, and hope you're feeling better. L.A. Taylor, I haven't seen you for a while. Jupiter with Jupiter 8, Stephen the Jupiterian, Mercury with the Message, Purple Table Tarot, and Herbal Empress. Thank you for being my people and being in my live premieres with me when I put them out and we listen together and chat. Let's get back to the work at hand. Let's talk about Taurus, Sun, Moon, and rising sign people. Always look for your rising. It's probably the most accurate. So as a Taurus, you're looking at a new beginning in the earnings house. This is wonderful. If you want to look at it in terms of the luck, great, Lunatic and the Lamb, but also Betelgeuse, the prosperity and wealth star, sits here. And he's just gotten brighter in the sky. I don't know if you guys know, he dimmed out for a while. So this is a real uptick in your Taurus life around money. It's a flow of revenue through your earnings structures. And so it's mostly your cash flow through your job or career path. Sometimes it can look like some up level in a possession as well, and your self-possession, how you feel about yourself. So there's a lot of luck, wealth, prosperity, and goodness, and Mercury in domicile is helping you market, sell merchandise, or get a new job because you negotiate and you contract with him. If you want a new job, it's yours. Volcano, up in the 10th house, some volcanic eruptions, but mostly positive flowing energy from, trine energy. So what unexpected uplift in your visible reputation and career space is allowing for greater cash flow in the 2 weeks that follow the moon, but ostensibly the 6 months as well. Certainly is planting seeds over the next 6 months for some up level in your earnings and financial cash flow. You can watch for a little bit of tension, of course, with this kind of Pandora's box and Neptune in the house of friends and social groups. Certainly there may be some kind of disappointment, disillusionment, and disenchantment with a circle of friends or a friend or a group that you belong to. And maybe there is still hope there, but there's a lot that ails you with that Neptune square. And you may be moving away from those social structures or groups of people as a result of this new moon over the 6 months that follow. It is a place where you have dreams and wishes, and Neptune, Saturn is trying to make your dreams and wishes realistic, but you're coming through with a breakthrough about dreams and wishes as it pertains to career gains and money, and moving into more sober-minded realism in the 6 months that follow this moon. With Jupiter in the house of you, you're lucky for the next year until May 24th, so enjoy that ride as well. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and rising sign. In your sky, the new moon, new beginning, is happening in the house of you. If you are Gemini rising especially, and you have your rising sign in the 20 to 29th degree, wow, what a great new beginning for you, infused with so much luck, so much power, and maybe the ability to generate wealth. And you may also find it with Juno here. You want to partner with somebody. You want to team up with another. And you may do that by choosing someone to be your partner. This is a marriage partnership, goddess, and a business partnership and vows of agreement. So you could say that this new moon could jack you up big time in terms of wealth with a marriage partner and or a business partner. So as well, you can see that Mercury is here in the domicile on fixed star and Aldebaran, the eye of the bull. He's in great strength. You have a warrior sword in your hand. You're getting what you want and you're going for it. You're very, very strong. You're like the queen, the king or queen of your warrior sword territory. Some of it's verbal war, of course. You can go to verbal war as needed, apply liberally with Aldebaran being activated here over the next 2 weeks and up to 6 months that follow. Your words may be sharp but effective. You can also note that you're having a volcanic eruption with volcano and Hygeia in the 9th house. Hygeia is mind, body, spirit healing. 9th house is God, but volcanoes and eruptions in the house of publications, travel to foreign lands, third marriages, but a positive eruption because it's a trine, bringing luck and opportunity as well in a sudden, eruptive, and unexpected way. You may also have positive eruptions when it comes to academic environments and legal and court matters. Some tension, though, from Neptune in your 10th house, where you have been, you may be like using in videography social media platforms, question mark. I have my progressed sun in Gemini, and the eels are befalling you with Pandora. What kind of tension do you have here where you feel like you let stuff out of the box and you're having a hard time with it? Hope remains, and it remains eternal. But you could have tension with somebody in your workplace that's, some confusion, some misperceptions, misalignments with them. Certainly deception with Neptune can happen. And now there's this kind of tense moment with workplace colleagues or even higher ups. But maybe it's also an illusion or delusion you've been having around your career path, and Saturn's trying to sober you up. And now you're coming down to earth in the 6 months that follow. And maybe you're looking more soberly at it and you go, that was a great illusion I had, but I don't think I want to continue in this particular direction. You'll come to a crucible in the 6 months that follow this new moon as you come to a completion moon in 6 months that follow in a fullness in the house of you. Don't forget to hit the like button. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. So a new moon is occurring as it does every year, but this time again, as always, it's in your 12th house in Gemini, which is where there is all the luck and wealth of Betelgeuse. On the attack and on the lamb. There's a whole thing about don't scatter your fortunes, but at least you have some to scatter, right? In the software, write it for those lucky stars on Orion's belt. All right. So in essence, you're coming into contact with some kind of financial up-level opportunity. You may do it in business partnerships, but it can involve foreigners. It can also be an opportunity to learn something that's going to up-level you in terms of earnings down the road. Take a course or something, or learn something in a schooling setting. That's because the 12th is angular to the 2 learning houses. You may be able to write something. It's like the back room where you're doing things by yourself and you're working on some writing project. If you're Cancer rising, this is the writer studio 12th house. And as you get through this intensity of the 2 weeks that follow, in 6 months even, you may cobble together something that generates wealth that is written or something like that. Certainly good for online payment processors like Stripe and PayPal, and making money from those processors. So look for that as an option as well, because you could wealth up over the 6 months that follow through online wealth, international revenue from online payment processors. With Jupiter in the house of great gains until next May 24th, in your career, greater wealth coming, greater reputation, greater perks. This is such a lovely transit. Anyway, and then you get this new moon may be making some of you get those foreign processing systems for money up and running, or to have them take off on you. I would say that the volcanic eruption in the 8th house of chunky money is not too darn bad, is it? Jupiter is also in the house of the elder sibling or friends as allies, and the chunky money energy could come from them. But seriously, the volcanic energy, a volcano of flow from the 8th house, well, it is an inheritance house, not wishing that on you, but it could also be your partner's money taking off with Pluto back ending into the house of marriage. Maybe your marriage partner has a financial gain and you benefit from it. But whichever way you say it, it's a money house, the 8th house. So a chunk of money flowing in a volcanic eruption your way that may be a pleasant surprise in the 2 weeks that follow the moon, or the 6 months as well. There's tension from the 9th house, though, and you may have a spiritual crisis here where something you believed in a Neptunian, mystical, magical way is being challenged by the new beginning, new moon. Or Saturn there saying sober up and get realistic about your spiritual beliefs or how you align with the divine, and you're having a turning point moment in the 6 months that follow. You could also have a turning point moment with a teacher, and you may experience disillusionment with that professor, teacher, or guide. As a Leo, sun, moon, and rising, if you're one of those, especially Leo rising, especially if we're talking about the 10 to 29 degrees of Leo. This is an energy of a new beginning and a new moon in a very happy and positive place. One of the lucky houses, 11. This is a house of good spirit. It's where you're going to find windfalls, sometimes pennies from heaven, sometimes great gains from your career, friends acting as benefactors, favors from friends, an uplift in your social community, social groups, and fun with friends even. So it's a good new moon, new beginning for Leos. And there's a lot of luck and power here. Given this is a great gains from career house, you may have a new contract, a vow, agreement that uplevels your finances from your career path, especially with Jupiter moving through your career house all the way through, lucky career breaks, etc. Great power, great up levels until next May 2020, late May 2024. So here comes the beginning of maybe a 6-month increase in your revenue and your gains from your career through the 11th house of great gains. You may also experience some tension and volcanic eruption even of some sort with your marriage partner, but it also is very good because it is a trine, volcano and Hygeia. Trining this moon can bring some unexpected eruptions that are positive with a business partner, but also client, audience, and marketplace if those are anything related to how your profession takes form. So yeah, and the volcanic eruption here could be a sudden takeoff with new clients or a sudden uptick in your relationship with your marriage partner that's positive for your enjoyment of your life. You know, there's some, confusion, illusion, delusion with shared resources with a business or love partner, or with your finances that pertains to your 401k, banking, mortgages, loans. And you're coming up with this kind of, is there hope at the bottom of that Pandora's box regarding those kinds of monies as you deal with tension there? Hopefully no one has been manipulating or secretively doing anything with Neptune here regarding shared resources in marriages or businesses. And if that happens, there is a real kind of come to Jesus moment, maybe with monies that you share with another in the 2 weeks that follow this new moon, and also maybe for the 6 months that unfold after that. If you are a Virgo, sun, moon, and rising, this is going, and I always talk about my family, but I have so many Virgos in my life right now. It's crazy. I just found out that my ex-husband's wife, whose jewelry I'm sharing with you guys, who I really like and we're becoming friends, is a Virgo rising. Add to that too my Virgo son, my Virgo rising daughter, my other Virgo rising girlfriend, best friend. I am surrounded by Virgo. Isn't that funny? Because Virgo is my 8th house from my Aquarius rising perspective. All right, enough about me. Don't forget to hit the like button. I do share my life with you guys. I'm pretty well me with you, Virgo rising, sun, moon, and all of that. So the new beginning, new moon, new start, fresh beginning is career job, basically. No doubt about it. In the 2 weeks that follow, or certainly the 6 months that follow, there's a refresh button there. And it's very lucky. Betelgeuse, greater wealth, greater significant finances coming off it. 2 lucky stars, lucky breaks financially, lucky gains, higher level of financial goodness, but a new beginning. Mercury here is about perhaps negotiating a new beginning, making a deal, having a new contract for something, having great discussions with people in power in your work and career path to up-level your gains from that path. Often Juno is about vows and contracts. That's why she's about marriages and divorces as well. What kinds of new agreements, vows, and contracts are being arranged in the 2 weeks that follow this lucky wealth new moon to up-level you financially. Some of you may get a new job as well, just that simple, right? It could be as simple as that, especially because Jupiter as well is in your 9th house of luck as well, a Lakshmi house. And you got a lot of luck coming off of that Jupiter, who is able to sort of say, what kind of lucky Lakshmi wealth breaks can I give you? And he'll be there till the 3rd week of May next year. This is also very lucky for anyone who's a student in a college or campus setting, anybody who wants to travel to foreign lands, anybody who wants to succeed in a 3rd marriage, anybody who wants to win in a court and legal matter, yay you for the next year. So Jupiter could lend, though, some support towards the idea of a up level in professional endeavors, if not even a new job. And you have some volcanic eruptions, but it's mostly good, like some unexpected erupting energy in the 6th house of work. So the eruption could be, especially with Hygeia, You know, something needs to be healed here. Some eruption with a coworker or something in the coworker workspace erupting in the 2 weeks that follow. But at the end of the day, you win and you get this great, like, glorious Betelgeuse wealth energy. So, you know, like, I don't know, someone gets fired, you get to go take their spot. You're up level to a manager, you quit your job because of some eruptions in the workspace, and you find something way better. And there is a tension, though, with Neptune. That's your marriage partner or business partner space, with all the ills that befell the world as Pandora opened the box in the marriage house. But hope was left. Unfortunately, deception, manipulation, and fuzziness are often Neptune stories. You're looking for your soulmate. It's been so hard. You kept rose-colored glasses on. Those were the early Pisces risings. The later Pisces risings are finding their soulmate now. Pisces risings, Virgo risings. But with Neptune here, or looking for the twin flame, with Neptune here, there could be the dispelling of an illusion or delusion with regards to a marriage partner, especially the last 5-degree Virgo rising people, and some disenchantment maybe. And that is squaring this new beginning. Like, I could give you a story, like you get a new raise, promotion, new job, and your partner tells you he's jealous or she's jealous or dismisses you or something. And suddenly you reframe this person and this relationship. And you may still have hope, but the ills that have been befalling you, they're not worth it. So 2 weeks after, sure, and even 6 months after, there may be a disenchantment with the one you're with, but it connects to the work and marriage axis. So are they dissing your success? Is there tension with your work and you're busy working and they're not up for that? I'm not sure, but look for that kind of discombobulation to kind of bake in tension in the next 6 months with those marriage type partnerships or business type partnerships. By the way, to just go back to that, a new moon in the house of marriage, of work with a Juno means you may have a new relationship if you're single, forming in the 6 months that follow from the workspace, but careful that you see that person clearly because of the square to Neptune in the 7th. All right, Libra, sun, moon, and of course, most accurately, I say it every time, rising sign. So what happens here is a new moon, a new beginning, unlucky Betelgeuse, wealth Betelgeuse, Lunatic on the Lamb, lucky beginnings, new beginnings in the foreign lands, visas, court matters, house, the 9th, third marriages, things to do with book publishing, academic environments, the house of the father figures in Indian astrology. Churches and faith and beliefs are up here as well. New beginnings, new starts. You might start a new faith path. You might start a new practice. You might find a new church. New beginnings, lucky ones, but wealth from foreigners, wealth from foreign shores from your birthplace, wealth coming through the sky. And lucky at that as well. Wealth from father figures coming through to you in the 2 weeks up to 6 months that follow in the new beginning, new moon, and wealth from foreigners. If you partner in business or love with foreigners, Juno is up there too. There is also the idea of some eruption in the house of sexuality and romance with a volcanic release there. And you may find also an eruption with your children or eruptions in your independent entrepreneurial life. But those are volcanic explosive energies are going to fortify the luck of Betelgeuse and Lunatic and support that in the 6 months that follow, and more acutely in the 2 weeks that follow the new moon. I wonder, you're having the square from Neptune and Pandora in the workspace and work house, also health and health routines, your 6th house. What's going on here is some kind of disillusionment, maybe disenchantment, because this new beginning, new start is very powerful. And then there's this kind of like, what, are you disenchanted with a coworker, the line of work you've chosen? Are you disillusioned or disenchanted with a rental situation or a pet? That sounds crazy, but those are some of the meanings. You brought the pet home and the pet's gnarly and you don't want to keep it. With Jupiter going through your 8th house of chunky money, and that's not the money that you earn, but it comes to you anyway, you get it from others, this is going to be a kind of time where your money is increasing, but it is the inheritance transit, Libras. It is the inheritance transit. And so again, father figures, 9th house, courts and legal matters, probate, some of this can look very inheritancy for you. And maybe there's a kickoff of that possibility in the 6 months that follows this new moon. You may hear from someone from a foreign land. News and information doth travel with Mercury up there. But you may also have a new beginning that allows you to take a job in a foreign land or to move to a foreign land as well. All right, Scorpio rising, especially, then secondarily Sun and Moon, especially if, never mind, just keep going. There's a new beginning and a fresh start with Betelgeuse, the wealth god, in your house of inheritances, house of chunky money. Tax rebates, windfalls sometimes, business partner monies, your money that your partner in love can generate, you share with them. Nonetheless, to have a new beginning with Betelgeuse and Lunatic in a very powerful money spot, and Mercury is very dignified in the 8th house, according to Firmicus Maternus. It's the only plant that gets good creds here. So marketing, merchandising, selling, sure, but also stock market, stock investments, and inheritance monies can be coming for some Scorpio rising. It's also the house of royalty incomes and passive income sources. So commission monies as well. So commission monies, royalty monies can be on the increase. Passive income that you don't work for, like ad advertising on revenue. For me, this kind of money that just flows through you from others that, you're not doing dollars for hours is going to increase. So in the 2 weeks that follow, there can be an explosive and sudden aha, because of volcano in the house of the ancestors, but also the family of origin. Your mom and dad belong here. And so again, we're looking at potential for explosive legacy wealth coming into play. News that you're going to inherit money, news that an inheritance is coming to you. Does it have to be because someone died? No, they could say trust fund wise, we're going to put some money in your account. Like, it can be that too. Explosive revelations that may be positive around family secrets can come in the 2 weeks that follow the moon as well. There's some tension with Neptune in the 5th house of children and romantic partners, as well as the house of entrepreneurial endeavors and creativity. If you're a Scorpio rising artist type, you may be coming into a disillusionment with some of the enchantment of your art, especially with its music, photography, and filmography. It's storytelling, Neptune. And maybe because of the money situation that's, not living up to your standards. I wonder about the hope in Pandora's box. You're not going to give up, though. If this is about romance and love and sexuality, especially with Jupiter in your 7th house. This is the marriage transit for Scorpio rising. When Jupiter goes through the 7th house, you choose the date, you engage, you move in together. You're up leveling with that Jupiter transit, and that continues to be true until next May. My son's a Scorpio rising, and they're setting a wedding date for next summer, for a private wedding with just their friends, and then they're having a celebration with everyone else after. And I'm like, wow, it's so cool. He's going to find this marriage partner thing happening. But I bring it up because Neptune here is in this kind of temporary funk, squaring new moon in the money house. Like, we want to get married, maybe my son would say, but my partner's money is not enough yet. And so I'm disillusioned with the situation, for example. Making up a story, that's not necessarily true. And so just look for this disenchantment with a child. Maybe a child who's deceptive or manipulating you around finances and wants you to give you money, and suddenly there's hope in the bottom of the bucket, of Pandora's bucket there, but you're disenchanted with all of the ills that has befallen a child situation or a lover situation, or even a musical, creative, artistic path that you've been on. But go for it, Scorpios, because Saturn is giving you the creds, the stability, determination to work those entrepreneurial and artistic talents and benefit from them between now and 2026. So don't give up. That's what I'd say to you. Okay, moving forward. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is the energy of a new beginning that will unfold over 6 months as we await the full moon in your 7th house of marriage. This could definitely look like a new beginning, a new relationship, a new commitment to somebody, a new business partnership. This can look like a new level of up levels, like, the vows goddess is here, the commitment in marriage. So you might get a proposal going. You may, over the 6 months that follow, become very much involved in a committed love relationship. If you're single, if you're with someone, it just intensifies the commitment levels. There is this energy here of luck for wealth, but it's not yours. It's either your business partner, marriage partner, or audience client, others who have the wealth, bringing wealthy people to you. If you're looking for new love, it could be with somebody who's lucky and wealthy, for example. That's especially true for 20 to 29 degree Sag risings. Look for the 6 months to unfold to bring a new relationship to you if you want one, or to up level the wealth that you experience in your current relationship. Because there's a volcanic explosive energy with Hygeia in the 3rd house of travel, trips, siblings, skills-based learning, and more, there may be some positive eruption regarding relationships with extended family, but also with travel and trips. Now, like an eruption, it means, something exploding, a volcano, power, intensity in the third house, but it is supporting something to do with that marriage and business partnership house. At the same time, so you may have an unexpected change of plans for a travel or a trip, but the explosive energy benefits you in the long run. I mean, while we don't expect a volcano to erupt necessarily overnight, and we have some warnings, volcanoes represent things that erupt, right? So an eruption in your volcano in your third house. Siblings, aunts, uncles, nieces, travel, online world, stuff like that. Of course, if you're single looking for love, the dating apps belong to the third house. How's that for a positive eruption of something exciting? There's some disillusionment maybe, or confusion around where you wish to live. You've been going through this transit as a Sag rising since 2011. You're looking for your dream home. Now that Saturn's arrived, this is going to help you find the dream home, the place to land, your forever home if you want. And that's true until 2026. Saturn's helping Neptune. But you've got this like confusion, illusion, or delusion, or whatever fogginess that's going to be openly seen by you in the 2 weeks that follow the new moon. And it could be a disagreement with your significant love partner about the plans or the directions for where you live. And if you don't have a love partner, then maybe with your audience or clients or marketplace. You want to move, but you're going to be too far away from your clients. You want to locate a home. You still have hope near the water. Pandora's box. And there's a problem, a complication, a confusion about this whole situation because it's squaring the point of marriage and Juno herself. Look for disagreements and disenchantments with you and a significant relationship regarding the nest, the home, and where to home and homeland themes over the 6 months that follow. Capricorn, sun, moon, and especially rising sign. So in your sky, this is going to look very much like a new beginning with great power for wealth happening in your sixth house. Now, the sixth house is often connected to karmic debt and therefore also real life debt. So if you have any debts to pay, this could be the elimination of that because of the wealth star and also the luck that goes with it. Pay down that mortgage, pay off that credit card, pay back somebody. As well, tenants like to lease a place as a landlord. The landlord-tenant energy belongs to the sixth house, and so there's an explosive wealth opportunity regarding themes of that nature. This is a work house. You may get a new job, a new work situation that has a potential to bring you great wealth, Betelgeuse, and luck in wealth as well. Contractual agreements around work are very possible in the 2 weeks that follow or 6 months that follow the new moon. Mercury is also negotiations, communications, text messages, and phone calls about such matters in the 2 weeks to 6 months that follow the moon. Now, because you've got this volcanic explosion in the earnings and income house, and it's trining this Betelgeuse story, this is about an explosive opportunity to be more rich, to earn more money, to be more wealthy as a result of this. I can only think of my Capricorn rising ex-husband might be called back to work by his former boss because they miss him, and he might take the opportunity for an example because it's going to be such a good, explosively positive, powering and brimming with power opportunity volcano. There's an illusionment, disillusionment with the third house. Maybe a sibling has let you down. Maybe you're confused or uncertain about things to do with journeys, trips, and travel. Maybe you're having some illusionment or disillusionment regarding a niece, nephew, aunt, uncle, cousin, all these delineations of the third house, or even to do with shorter trips and travel you thought you wanted to take, and you're kind of disenchanted here in the 2 weeks that follow the June 17th moon. There have been, the ails that befell you in the third house of siblings with Pandora's box can be rectified at this time, right? So maybe there's hope at the bottom of the box, basically. I kind of like this idea, though, that you got some real power up financially, but it would likely involve work, all right? Because it's the 2 and 6 houses. The the houses are work houses. And so it's a work opportunity vibe. With Jupiter in your 5th house of romantic love, sexuality, your children, and lucky money breaks, including winning money, that's true for you all the way through to next May 24th. But this story of the new moon is really, really something about a work opportunity, if I see it correctly. Okay. Moving forward. Aquarius rising, especially sun and moon secondarily. This energy of a new beginning, new moon in Gemini, especially if you're Aquarius rising, sun or moon in the last 20 to 29 degrees, but all of you feel it. There's a new beginning in the house of romance. There's a new beginning in the house of children and conception and fertility, independent business enterprise, your entrepreneurial life, your creative projects and muse-inspired creations, especially for writing if you are Aquarius rising, because this is a Gemini 5th house. Talking and writing. Okay, so a new beginning involving a partner, Juno, and Mercury news and information. Mercury rules games of chance. Yes, you could win the lottery. This is Betelgeuse, 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 and lucky stars Lunatic. For Aquarius risings, think about buying those lottery tickets around June the 17th at a couple weeks. And that can inform a 6-month narrative of goodness as well. You can also say that this is really good for really good new beginnings, refreshing the communications with a sexual partner or lover, certainly with a hot tango of Venus and Mars in your 7th house of committed relationships. There's a lot to be said for an up level of the connection with a significant partner, mostly romantically, sexually, but also in terms of conversations and communications during the 2 weeks that follow this new moon. Great for starting a new writing project, great for starting any kind of new business enterprise as an entrepreneur. New start, new beginning can generate great wealth and power. I'm Aquarius rising. I just had this great idea for a new course I want to teach and a new program I want to put into the world called Codebreaker. And hopefully that's that project idea. And I'm also changing my business structure entirely to do a lot less clients next year. And so, new beginnings are starting up here. Full moon will be here 6 months later to bring it to completion. And your children, new beginning with your children in some fundamental way. Now, there's a volcanic eruption from the house of you. You are the volcano. You are the eruptor with that power. Sometimes the apps is suppressed power. If you have suppressed power, it's erupting. So this is an eruption in the house of you that's going to lend itself to some powerful, significant developments in your 5th house of money luck, with lucky Betelgeuse and Lunatic and all of that. This is really good money luck, but the volcano that explodes is you. So I'm not sure how that's going to look. You have to maybe consider yourself a fire starter here, even if you're an Aquarian, which is all about the air. You might have a new idea, a new project, a new way to do something, and it's all like erupting from you. And with Hygeia, it's about the mind-body healing, so finding a better balance in your health as well, which is one of my motives for not working so hard. And you may have an illusionment and a disillusionment with an earning strategy and a way of making money. And now, especially if it involves videography and social media platforms with video, but also anything to do with storytelling, Neptune wants you to up-level to like a definite more mystical, more spiritually true way of making money, but you may have some disillusionment, illusions and confusions squaring this new moon, where there's something you want to maybe break away from or significantly change, because the ails that befall you, with the Pandora's box here, does have hope in it. Yeah. Certainly Neptune here can be about addictions and overdoing something that you shouldn't be imbibing. And so now you may be having to square away with that because you're going to find this financial success could release you from some addictive habit or pattern completely. Especially if your addiction is tied to work and work habits. Like maybe you're just like me, sometimes doing too much and you just want to have that glass of wine at the end of the day, right? To downwind. Then we're talking about a new beginning, new moon for Pisces rising, and then sun and moon secondarily. So for you Pisceans, this is about your home, where you live. New beginnings are forming here, yes, once a year, but this is lucky Betelgeuse. You might be able to experience a great deal of prosperity in the 6 months that follow regarding property, land, home, real estate, homeland, etc. Or legacy wealth, some kind of inheritance, perhaps. Okay, Jupiter's going through your 3rd house of siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews. Maybe some money throwing your way from any of those is possible. You also could say this new moon is based on partnership for business or love, with Juno so close at hand in the 6 months that follow, and negotiating deals about a new beginning regarding where you live. That's going to bring you great prosperity, but quite possibly you could even buy a new property or rent a new property that's going to be very expensive, but you have the money to do that. Venus in the house of rentals is sextiling this new moon, and that could also look like, yay you. or a new exciting rental property that's quite luscious, actually. And you're also seeing in this sky this energy coming from a volcanic eruption in the house of foreigners and foreign lands and foreign shores, PayPal, Stripe, payment processors, and things to do with making money with foreigners from foreign shores. So a sudden explosive eruption of an opportunity to make money from foreign lands and foreign shores could be very possibly happening here as well. But it may change, make a new beginning in your home. You may change home or homelands very powerfully, but it has to do with wealth as well. And the wealth that is connected to a change of home or even homeland. There's some kind of tension going on here, though, with Neptune. Your disillusionment is your own disillusionment or your confusion with Neptune going through your house of you since 2011. However, it's an enlightenment transit, and anyone in the late degrees of Pisces rising especially are waking up to the truth of who they are and having this enlightenment vibe infuse them throughout the sky. My Pisces rising soulmate just made a funny face at me, and I knew he was going to sneak up on me. He always does, because he's an imp. So anyway, basically, and going through his enlightenment experience, you know, there's all the ills that were poured out by Pandora onto the world by mistake. The gods tricked her into it, like war, plagues, and difficulties. And now this Neptune is like, and there's hope left in the box. And there's some kind of thing like where no matter what ails have befallen you in this time of your life or any time in your life, but especially maybe the last 10 years of your life, or even more, 14 years of your life. We're talking about that Neptune transit that started in 2011. This is a time in which you can suddenly see the hope at the bottom of the bucket, maybe. And you can also, but it's squaring the new beginning. So you have to sort of square away this time of enlightenment, confusion, delusion, and what the hope element is left, and also square it away with something to do with wealth, property, real estate, and land. You have the bucket of Pandora's box in your hand. She looks like a bucket in the software. You're the one that can dig in the bottom for hope, right? And find it and add it to Neptune. Neptune likes to storytell. He likes to do videos and videography, filmmaking, Hollywood, photography, music. Maybe there's something in there for you about how you can use this power of Neptune to bring that hope forward in your life, especially Saturn stabilizing you over the next 3 years with Neptune still there, allowing for any kind of transcendent spiritual awareness to find its grounding and foothold in the real world. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. If you haven't liked the video during the premiere and you're still watching, please hit the like button. I do appreciate that. And I will see you on my next video, whatever that will be. Remember, Patreon's getting this ahead of you. And so this is recorded on June 11th, and you won't get this for a while, and they get it ad-free. So you might want to check out my $5 a month Patreon community, and you get a couple meetings a month with me as well. Have a great day, everyone. Ciao, ciao.